Dateline Madrid, Tuesday, 29 April. Western Europe underwent its worst mass power outage in at least the last 50 years this week, and I'll give you one guess what the cause was. Yeah, you got it. It happened because the Spaniards have converted vast sectors of the power grid away from reliable energy sources like oil and gas and toward wildly unreliable energy sources like windmills and solar panels and magic unicorn farts. I know. What a shocking development this is. Who could have guessed such a thing would ever happen? It was like a bolt from the blue, except that a bolt from the blue contains more electricity than unicorn farts. But since climate cultism is very much a state religion in many parts of the world, the Spanish government tried very hard at first to put some lipstick on the pig and blame the power outage on a, quote, freak weather incident, which caused many Spaniards to say, what? Freak weather incident are you talking about? Exactly, we didn't see any freak weather incident. All we saw was the freaking lights go out. And then the government, much to its own embarrassment, was forced to explain that, when we said freak weather incident, what we actually meant was it was unusually cloudy for a couple of days. And presumably the unicorns weren't farting hard enough. And it really says a lot for the potential of so-called renewable energy, that your entire national power grid can be defeated by clouds. And I'm sure the people of Spain and Portugal, who were also affected by the mass outage, are really delighted to be living in a world where they pay about 5 times more for electricity than they did just a few years ago, and their reward is no fucking electricity. It really fills one with confidence in the capabilities of the people in charge, doesn't it? But the government wasn't quite done trying to cover its ass yet, because of course they weren't. When they tried to chalk the whole thing up to a freak weather event, and everybody responded correctly with laughter and derision and mockery, they then, ever so briefly, tried to claim that there must have been some sort of terrorist cyber attack that crippled the electrical grid. But then, in an all too rare case of journalists actually doing journalism, some reporters went and asked the firm that runs the national power grid if cyber terrorism was a plausible explanation for the outage, and the guy on the other end of the line said, nah, there wasn't any cyber attack that we're aware of. So only then, when they were completely out of lies to tell, did the government finally grudgingly concede, okay, fine, it was the clouds. Now, according to the Spanish press, upwards of 150,000 people had to be rescued from inoperative subway cars because, what, you guys never heard of a backup power supply for your public transit? And hundreds of hospitals and old age homes were left scrambling trying to keep their patients alive when the power suddenly and completely failed. So, like, your hospitals don't even have backup generators? Because I always kind of thought that was a fairly crucial thing for a hospital to have, but let me guess, defeating the sun monster is so important and fossil fuels are such pure evil that we can't even have gas-powered backup generators for our damn hospitals, and they can't keep a couple of captive unicorns on hand to fart up some emergency power because, you know, animal rights and all that. So yeah, very, very excellent look, Spain. It's great to see entire countries failing at things that civilization had figured out like 120 years ago, like how to build a reliable power grid. And I'm sure all those hospital patients who perished when their ventilators switched off would have been more than happy to sacrifice their lives on the altar of reducing the global mean temperature by 0.7 degree 100 years from now. I know that I, for one, rest easier at night knowing Western civilization has all of its priorities firmly in order.